What you're watching is a $400 drone. 4 propellers, a camera, and a hand-built bomb taped to the bottom. It's small enough to fit in a backpack. It costs less than a smartphone, and it's destroying tanks worth millions. And it is the reason Ukraine is still in the fight. But this little thing is becoming wild. Some of these drones are starting to think for themselves. They can identify a target, lock on and hit it, even when every signal is jammed. Even when no human is steering, they do their job. This is the story of how a handful of cheap drones, made by regular people, are keeping an entire nation in the fight. And trust me, it's only the beginning. Drones aren't new. We've been experimenting with pilotless aircraft for more than a century. Early prototypes tested back in World War I. Little more than remote-controlled biplanes with explosive ambitions. But what's happening right now in Ukraine is something completely different. What started as improvised homemade tech evolved into one of the most important weapons on the modern battlefield. This isn't just about reconnaissance anymore. This is industrial-scale drone warfare. Look at how organized it's become. Almost every Ukrainian brigade now has its own assault drone company. Dedicated pilots, mechanics, spotters. They train, they coordinate, and they deploy like any other combat unit. You'll find specialized teams for different missions. Drones that scout, drones that bomb, and first-person view drones, the ones that fly straight into their targets with terrifying precision. A few years ago, this kind of setup belonged in hobbyist clubs or YouTube videos. Now it's an integral part of a nation's defense strategy. A $500 piece of tech shaping the course of a multi-billion-dollar war. But this is where the revolution begins. This is the drone, compact and purposeful. A camera sits at the front. A battery is secured to a carbon fiber frame. 4 rotors provide lift and maneuverability. Underneath, a warhead is fastened with cable ties. Everything you need to kill a high-value piece of equipment fits into something you can carry by hand. The whole system can cost as little as $500, yet it can destroy vehicles that cost millions. A pilot puts on FPV goggles and sees exactly what the drone sees. They steer with small, precise inputs. A teammate monitors a tablet and relays coordinates from a live map. One flies, one guides. Together, they turn a small quadcopter into a guided weapon. The drone's body is simple. Its weapon is what makes it terrifying. Attached underneath is the warhead. It's what turns a flying camera into a guided bomb. Armor-piercing, designed to punch through metal. On impact, it releases a jet of liquid metal so fast it melts through armor. Cluster. It fractures into many bits, shrapnel scattering wide, ideal against groups of soldiers or soft targets. Thermobaric, the most destructive. It burns up oxygen around it, creating a vacuum that can collapse dugouts and bunkers. Each munition serves a purpose. Each is chosen for a specific kind of target. And every time an FPV pilot straps one beneath their drone, they know exactly what it's meant to do. Before any attack happens, drones do the watching. There are 2 basic types. Small quadcopters, the ones you can buy online, fly close to the front and check trenches and vehicles. Bigger winged drones fly far into enemy territory to look at bases, factories, and roads. Small drones give quick, nearby pictures. Big drones look deep and stay up longer. Every drone streams what it sees: video, GPS location, and sometimes heat images, back to the ground in real time. All those feeds go into one map system called Kropyva. Think of it like a single, live map where every drone's picture and position shows up as pins. Commanders and soldiers can tap a pin, play the video, and see exactly what's happening at that spot. For a soldier in a trench, Kropyva is a live window. But on June 1st, something happened that suddenly made the word safe sound obsolete. The operation was called Spiderweb. It wasn't carried out by fighter jets or missiles, but by 117 small FPV drones. For 18 months, Ukraine's State Security Service planned the mission in total secrecy. and when the time came, it unfolded like something out of science fiction. The drones weren't launched from Ukraine at all. They were smuggled deep into Russia inside shipping containers. Then, with a single command from hundreds of kilometers away, the containers opened and dozens of drones lifted off at once, each one carrying about 3 kilograms of explosives. Each one guided through Russian airspace, using Russia's own mobile networks to communicate, piggybacking on 4G and LTE signals so they'd blend in with local traffic. And when the connection failed, AI took over. Autonomous systems locked onto pre-marked coordinates and flew straight for their targets. Their targets were 4 of Russia's most protected air bases, deep inside its own borders. Olenya Air Base in the Arctic, nearly 2,000 kilometers from Ukraine. Belaya Air Base in Irkutsk, over 4,000 kilometers away. Diaghilevo near Moscow, and Ivanovo, home to a rare A-50 radar aircraft. One by one, the drones found their marks. At Olenya, every Tu-95 bomber, Russia's nuclear-capable long-range fleet, was destroyed. At Diaghilevo and Ivanovo, more bombers and support aircraft were hit, some already fueled and ready for launch. In just minutes, the cost of damage reached $7 billion. But in the days that followed, satellite images showed the destruction. It forced the world to confront a new reality, that a swarm of drones, built for a few $100s each, can cripple a nuclear superpower.